Stop giving your heart to someone who can't even see your value. Every second you beg, every ounce of love you chase, you're shrinking yourself. What if I told you the only way to truly be loved is to stop asking for it? Today, I'm going to show you how walking away can be the most powerful, liberating, and life-changing choice you'll ever make. No guilt, no pleading, just clarity, confidence, and love that actually deserves you. If you're ready to stop shrinking and start commanding your worth, listen closely, because this will change everything. Most people spend their lives chasing validation from someone who cannot see their value. From a young age, we are conditioned to seek approval, to bend ourselves in ways that make others comfortable while ignoring our own needs. We convince ourselves that love must be earned through sacrifice, through proving that we are worthy enough. But the reality is that love does not operate as a transaction, and your worth is inherent, not contingent on someone else's attention. Begging for affection or approval diminishes the very essence of who you are. You give away your power the moment you start pleading for validation, and the more you give, the less they perceive it as value. Recognition should not be your goal. Authenticity should be. Self-respect is a language the heart recognizes long before words are spoken. When you stop chasing approval, you stop being a shadow and start being the light that others are drawn to naturally. Understanding this is the first step toward reclaiming your emotional independence, and love is not a currency to be traded or a prize to be won through effort or manipulation. When someone fails to value your time, attention, or affection, it is not a reflection of your inadequacy. It is a reflection of their inability to meet you at the level you deserve. The misconception that we must convince someone to care for us often traps people in endless cycles of frustration and self-doubt. Emotional labor should be shared, not shouldered alone. Expecting someone to mirror your commitment when they are unwilling only leads to heartbreak. Recognizing your worth allows you to set boundaries without guilt or apology. It allows you to stop negotiating for scraps and start expecting abundance. Your presence is not a favor, it is a gift, and gifts are appreciated, not coerced. Walking away from someone who fails to reciprocate is not a punishment for them, but an affirmation for yourself. Every step towards self-respect strengthens the foundation upon which authentic relationships can be built. And when you overextend for someone who doesn't reciprocate, you cheapen your own value without even realizing it. The small compromises accumulate, creating a life where your happiness is dependent on someone else's whims. You begin to question your own instincts, suppress your desires, and tolerate behaviors that undermine your dignity. Over time, this creates a subconscious belief that your love is only meaningful when it is given freely without acknowledgement or return. But love that is begged for is never love that is genuine. It is obligation masquerading as affection. Recognizing this allows you to break the pattern and reclaim your emotional sovereignty. Every moment spent seeking validation from someone who cannot offer it is a moment stolen from your potential. Energy is finite, and how you allocate it defines the trajectory of your life. Valuing yourself is not selfish. It is strategic, because the relationships you cultivate from a place of self-respect are those that enrich and sustain you. When you understand this, desperation loses its grip, and your heart begins to operate from strength rather than need. And true confidence begins the moment you stop pleading for attention and approval. Confidence is not loud or performative. It is quiet, steady, and magnetic. It is the ability to exist fully without needing others to affirm your existence. When you operate from this place, you no longer fear rejection or abandonment because your sense of self is internally sourced. You understand that someone's inability to recognize your worth is a reflection of them, not a measure of your value. This awareness creates freedom, allowing you to walk away without guilt or self-blame. It allows you to invest in people and experiences that honor you rather than deplete you. Confidence transforms your interactions into exchanges of energy rather than negotiations for validation. It turns attraction into something natural and effortless, drawing the right people to you organically. Once you embrace this, you realize that the right relationships do not require pleading. They arrive when alignment and respect are present. And recognizing the patterns of emotional dependency that trap you in toxic cycles is crucial to breaking free. Many people confuse intensity and drama with passion, believing that struggle validates love. They tolerate inconsistency, dismissive behavior, and emotional unavailability because it feels familiar or because they fear being alone. But these patterns are learned, and they can be unlearned through conscious awareness and practice. Identifying triggers, acknowledging insecurities, and observing your own behavior without judgment are essential steps. Emotional independence allows you to respond to situations with clarity rather than reacting from fear or need. When you detach your sense of self from someone else's behavior, you regain the power to choose your actions intentionally. You can set boundaries without anxiety and prioritize your well-being without hesitation. The moment you recognize dependency for what it is, you can replace it with self-reliance, clarity, and respect. And self-respect isn't arrogance. It is the foundation for authentic relationships. When you honor yourself, you naturally establish the standard for how others should treat you. Respect is communicated through actions, not words. It is reflected in how you allocate your time, your attention, and your emotional energy. It is the refusal to accept mistreatment disguised as affection. By cultivating self-respect, you signal to the world that your love is not negotiable or conditional. This creates an environment where only those capable of honoring your value can enter. Others may leave, but the ones who remain do so because they are aligned with your principles, not because they are coerced or guilted. This selective connection ensures that your relationships are mutually reinforcing rather than draining. The moment self-respect becomes your standard, the need to beg or chase becomes obsolete. And ask yourself, would I tolerate this treatment from a friend or colleague? If the answer is no, why accept it from a partner? Many people compartmentalize their relationships, holding others to high standards in professional or social contexts, but excusing subpar treatment in matters of the heart. This inconsistency is often rooted in fear of loss, loneliness, or societal pressure. But your heart deserves the same protection, consideration, and respect you demand in other areas of your life. Treating yourself as a non-negotiable priority shifts the dynamics of your interactions dramatically. It forces others to step up or step aside. When you honor yourself in this way, you stop rationalizing poor behavior and start recognizing red flags early. This clarity creates space for healthier connections that reinforce your value rather than diminish it. Walking away is a conscious act of alignment, not rejection. And walking away is not rejection. It is affirmation of your own value. It signals to both yourself and others that your love and attention are not commodities to be exploited. It communicates strength, boundaries, and clarity, qualities that are magnetic to the right people. The act of leaving creates a vacuum where authenticity can thrive, allowing you to attract relationships based on mutual respect rather than fear or obligation. Every departure from a situation that undervalues you is a victory for your emotional health. Over time, these choices compound, shaping a life that is self-directed rather than dictated by the approval of others. Walking away is not the end of love. It is the beginning of a journey toward connections that honor who you truly are. And your energy is finite. Invest it where it is honored, not where it is ignored. Time and attention are the most precious currencies we possess, yet they are often squandered on people or situations that do not reciprocate. Chasing love that is not freely given drains your spirit, clouds your judgment, and delays your growth. Choosing to protect your energy, to conserve it for those who genuinely value it, creates momentum toward fulfilling, balanced relationships. Every decision to disengage from unhealthy attachments reinforces your self-worth. Energy attracts energy, and when you operate from a place of abundance rather than need, the universe responds in kind. Investing wisely ensures that your heart remains fertile ground for the right kind of love. Respecting your energy teaches others how to treat you, often without words. It is a silent but undeniable declaration of your worth and self. Love is the silent force that repels toxic attachment and invites genuine connection. When you cultivate love within yourself, you no longer seek it externally to fill gaps or validate your existence. You become whole, not half a person hoping to complete someone else. This completeness acts as a filter, automatically repelling those who are incompatible or unwilling to invest. Self-love manifests as confidence, boundary setting, clarity, and resilience. It allows you to navigate heartbreak with dignity and to walk away from situations that do not serve your growth. When your foundation is strong, the need to beg, plead, or chase dissolves naturally. People who are meant to be in your life will recognize this energy and align without coercion. It transforms the way you engage with love, turning it from a source of anxiety into a reflection of your strength and authenticity. Desire is a natural part of human connection, but obsession is a trap that slowly erodes your sense of self. Many people mistake intensity for love, believing that constant pursuit proves devotion. They ignore the fact that healthy relationships require mutual effort, respect, and reciprocity. Chasing someone who consistently shows disinterest only reinforces feelings of inadequacy and desperation. Hope can easily become a dangerous illusion if it is not grounded in reality. Believing that persistence will eventually change someone's heart is often an excuse to avoid walking away. True love does not require manipulation, bargaining, or pleading. It flows effortlessly between two aligned individuals. Learning to differentiate between genuine connection and fantasy is critical. Obsessing over someone who cannot or will not meet you halfway distracts you from opportunities that truly honor your worth. Understanding this distinction is the first step toward reclaiming control over your emotional life. And if someone's actions consistently show disinterest, their intentions are clearer than any words they may say. Actions always reflect priorities, and repeated disregard signals a lack of investment in the relationship. Many people convince themselves that inconsistencies are temporary or that their patience will ultimately be rewarded. This mindset often traps them in cycles of waiting and hoping while neglecting their own needs. Accepting the reality of someone's disinterest allows you to stop projecting fantasies onto situations that are harmful. You begin to recognize that your value is not defined by someone else's inability to see it. Walking away becomes an act of courage rather than fear. It is the acknowledgement that your time, heart, and energy are too valuable to squander on empty promises. Understanding the truth about someone's intentions prevents unnecessary heartbreak. It also opens the door to relationships where love is freely given rather than earned through persistence. And chasing someone who does not reciprocate is like watering a dead plant, a futile effort that yields no growth or nourishment. The energy you pour into trying to make them care is energy that could be spent cultivating your own life and happiness. Each attempt to force love reinforces a pattern of dependency and diminishes self-esteem. It creates a cycle where self-worth is tied to someone else's affection, making detachment feel impossible. Recognizing that effort cannot create genuine feelings is liberating. Real connections arise naturally, without coercion or manipulation. Attempting to manufacture love often blinds you to the opportunities that already exist around you. Letting go allows your energy to flow toward people and experiences that genuinely reciprocate your care. This shift transforms desperation into clarity, freeing you from the constant anxiety of approval seeking. Over time, this conscious choice strengthens your emotional resilience and self-reliance, and hope can be mistaken for love, but hope alone cannot sustain a meaningful relationship. People often hold on to hope to avoid confronting the truth about someone who is incompatible or unavailable. Hope becomes a crutch, a way to justify enduring neglect or mistreatment. While hope has its place in dreams and aspirations, in matters of love it must be anchored in reality. When you hope that someone will change without evidence, you are engaging in self-deception. Accepting reality, no matter how painful, is the only way to preserve your integrity and self-respect. Hope without action or reciprocation leaves you vulnerable to repeated disappointment. Releasing ungrounded hope frees you to invest in people who are fully present and capable of reciprocating your love. Clarity replaces uncertainty, allowing you to make choices that serve your long-term well-being. Walking away in alignment with reality is an act of courage and self-preservation, not weakness. And freedom comes when you release the illusion of control over someone else's feelings. Many people believe they can change how others feel if they try hard enough or demonstrate enough loyalty. This belief leads to endless cycles of pleading, convincing, and performing, all while sacrificing personal peace. True freedom arises when you accept that feelings cannot be manufactured or coerced. Releasing the need to control someone else's affection allows you to focus on what you can influence: your choices, boundaries, and self-respect. Walking away becomes an empowered decision rather than a reaction to rejection. Letting go of control opens space for authentic relationships that are based on mutual desire rather than obligation. It allows you to invest in yourself without guilt, creating a foundation for self-confidence and independence. Emotional liberation is the ultimate pathway to attracting love that is genuine and sustaining. And walking away is an act of clarity, not bitterness. When you detach from someone who cannot meet you halfway, you make a deliberate choice to honor yourself. It is not an act of revenge or punishment. It is an assertion of self-respect. This clarity comes from observing reality without distortion, acknowledging patterns of neglect, and choosing your own well-being. It allows you to engage with relationships from a position of strength rather than desperation. Walking away demonstrates that your love has standards and boundaries, signaling that only those willing to meet them are welcome. Clarity fosters confidence, reduces emotional turbulence, and prevents wasted energy. It also communicates a powerful message. Your heart is not a bargaining chip or a source of free labor. Love cannot flourish in an environment where one person's needs are consistently ignored or minimized. And your time, energy, and heart are precious resources, not bargaining chips to be spent on someone who does not value them. When you invest these gifts in someone unwilling to reciprocate, you create imbalance and exhaustion. Over time, this imbalance erodes self-esteem and fosters resentment. Prioritizing people who honor your contributions ensures that your emotional investments are met with gratitude, respect, and care. Recognizing the scarcity of your resources encourages selective engagement, focusing on people and situations that truly deserve your attention. Walking away is not a loss. It is a strategic redirection of your energy toward those who value and uplift you. The decision to disengage is an act of self-preservation and empowerment. Your emotional capital should be spent wisely, cultivating relationships that generate fulfillment rather than depletion. When you protect these resources, you strengthen the foundation for lasting happiness and meaningful connections. And learning to discern between temporary attraction and lasting compatibility is essential for emotional clarity. Many people mistake infatuation, physical chemistry, or fleeting attention for genuine connection. These illusions can trap you in cycles of chasing someone who is not aligned with your long-term needs. Compatibility encompasses shared values, mutual respect, and the ability to support each other's growth. Distinguishing between surface-level attraction and deeper alignment allows you to make conscious choices about where to invest your heart. Walking away from temporary fascination in favor of authentic connection protects your energy and prevents regret. The ability to assess compatibility accurately requires honesty with yourself and observation of patterns over time. Those who are truly meant to be in your life will consistently demonstrate commitment, respect, and reciprocity. Recognizing this distinction is key to avoiding wasted effort and heartbreak. It positions you to cultivate relationships that are balanced, supportive, and deeply fulfilling. And those who truly value you will chase you without your pleading. Those who don't will not. Genuine interest is expressed through consistent actions, attention, and emotional availability. You do not need to negotiate, convince, or manipulate someone into caring about you. When someone values you, they prioritize your happiness, make space for your presence, and invest willingly in the relationship. If these efforts are absent, it is a clear signal that the connection is not reciprocal. Walking away from someone who fails to meet you halfway is not a rejection of love. It is a conscious choice to honor the love you already have for yourself. The realization that chasing is unnecessary liberates you from cycles of anxiety, doubt, and insecurity. Relationships based on mutual pursuit are healthier, more fulfilling, and sustainable. When you adopt this mindset, you stop lowering your standards and begin attracting love that is aligned with your true worth. And your future love story begins the moment you stop running after someone who is not running toward you. By letting go of unreciprocated attachments, you create space for authentic, meaningful relationships. Every step away from desperation is a step toward alignment, clarity, and empowerment. When you invest your energy in yourself and in people who value you, you foster connections rooted in respect and mutual desire. This shift transforms your approach to love from one of neediness to one of abundance. Walking away is not an ending. It is a deliberate act of opening doors to possibilities that reflect your worth. As you practice this consistently, your confidence grows, and you become magnetic to those who are genuinely compatible. Life responds to the energy you project, rewarding self-respect, patience, and discernment. Your journey toward love becomes intentional, conscious, and deeply rewarding when you refuse to chase what is not meant for you. Detachment is often misunderstood as indifference, but it is actually a profound form of strength. Many people confuse caring with dependency, believing that love requires constant emotional surrender. True detachment does not mean you stop feeling. It means you stop allowing your sense of self to be controlled by someone else's actions or moods. It is the ability to maintain emotional equilibrium while still engaging authentically. When you detach, you reclaim the power that is often surrendered to uncertainty and insecurity. Emotional freedom allows you to observe situations clearly, without distortion or neediness. It creates space for thoughtful decisions rather than reactive behavior. Detachment protects your energy and prevents emotional exhaustion. It strengthens your boundaries, reinforcing what is acceptable and what is not. By practicing detachment, you lay the groundwork for relationships that are based on choice, respect, and mutual investment. And when you let go of the need to control someone's affection, you regain clarity and peace. The desire to manipulate or influence someone's feelings is a trap that leads to stress, frustration, and resentment. Accepting that other people's emotions are beyond your control is liberating. You stop obsessing over their responses, moods, or level of commitment. This detachment allows you to focus on your own growth, happiness, and stability. It also communicates that you value yourself enough not to compromise your emotional health for someone else's inconsistency. Walking away from attempts to control affection restores balance in your life. You begin to engage with others from a place of choice rather than desperation. Freedom comes when you recognize that love thrives when it is given willingly, not coerced. The act of detachment shifts your energy from neediness to empowerment, transforming the way you experience relationships. And clinging creates desperation, but detachment creates magnetism. When you hold on too tightly, you send signals of insecurity and lack, which often push people away rather than draw them closer. Conversely, detachment allows you to operate from confidence and self-assurance. You become more attractive not because you are trying harder, but because you are aligned with your own value. Detachment enables you to maintain boundaries without guilt or fear. It reduces anxiety and the compulsion to over-explain or justify your feelings. When you stop trying to control outcomes, you allow natural alignment to occur. People are drawn to those who are whole, centered, and emotionally independent. Detachment fosters mutual respect and authentic attraction. It also empowers you to leave situations that drain you without hesitation or self-blame. This subtle shift in energy can dramatically transform your relationships, and you attract love by being whole, not by being needy. Many people confuse attention seeking with connection, believing that persistent pursuit proves devotion. In reality, true love is drawn to completeness, not desperation. Being whole means cultivating your own happiness, confidence, and sense of purpose independently of others. When you are complete, you engage in relationships as a choice rather than a necessity. This state of being invites people who are aligned with your energy and values. It also filters out those who are inconsistent, unavailable, or unwilling to invest. Emotional independence ensures that your love is given freely and reciprocated genuinely. Detachment reinforces this principle by creating a foundation of self-sufficiency. When you prioritize your wholeness, love enters your life naturally, without compromise or sacrifice of integrity. And practice saying no to what drains you, even if it masquerades as love. Many people tolerate behavior that diminishes their self-worth out of fear of losing someone. Boundaries are the most powerful tool to preserve your emotional health. Saying no is an affirmation that your heart, time, and energy are sacred. It allows you to disengage from toxic dynamics and redirect your focus toward relationships that honor your value. Detachment gives you the courage to enforce these boundaries consistently. It prevents manipulation and emotional exploitation from taking root. By saying no to what harms you, you create space for authentic connection. Boundaries are not walls, they are guides that protect your well-being and facilitate genuine intimacy. This discipline cultivates self-respect and teaches others how to treat you. And detachment teaches resilience and self-prioritization. When you stop depending on someone else's validation, you develop an internal source of strength. You learn to navigate emotional challenges without losing yourself in them. Resilience comes from facing discomfort and uncertainty without surrendering your integrity. Self-prioritization ensures that your needs are met, even in the context of a relationship. This is not selfishness, it is a necessary condition for healthy attachment. Detachment also allows you to recognize patterns of incompatibility or neglect early. You become proactive rather than reactive in matters of the heart. This mindset empowers you to make choices that align with your long-term happiness. Resilience and prioritization are cultivated gradually, but their impact on emotional freedom is profound. And you are allowed to grieve someone who is not yours without losing yourself in them. Detachment does not eliminate the pain of loss. It provides a framework for processing it without dependency. Grief is a natural response to unmet expectations and emotional investment. By observing your feelings without clinging, you acknowledge them while maintaining your agency. This prevents the spiral of obsession or compulsive behavior that often accompanies heartbreak. Walking away does not negate your emotions. It transforms them into lessons for growth and self-discovery. Detachment allows you to honor your heart while preserving your boundaries. It teaches that love is not possession and that your self-worth is independent of someone's availability. Processing grief with detachment strengthens emotional intelligence and prepares you for healthier connections. And the person who deserves your love will meet you halfway without negotiation or compromise on respect. Detachment allows you to see clearly whether the effort, attention, and commitment you give are reciprocated. It prevents you from rationalizing or excusing behaviors that are incompatible with your values. When love is mutual, it flows naturally and does not require pleading or manipulation. Walking away from someone who fails to meet these basic standards is an act of self-respect, not rejection. Detachment reinforces the understanding that your value is inherent and not dependent on external validation. It also teaches patience as you wait for alignment rather than forcing outcomes. The right person will willingly contribute to your happiness and growth. Observing this through detachment ensures that your choices are intentional and not driven by fear. Your love becomes selective, conscious, and empowered, and detachment allows you to reclaim your personal power and emotional sovereignty. When you are no longer entangled in someone else's control, you can live authentically and fully. Emotional sovereignty means you make decisions based on your values, not on fear, guilt, or obligation. It gives you the freedom to walk away from situations that do not serve your well-being. Detachment is the practice of respecting your heart while not being attached to the outcome of someone else's choices. It transforms heartbreak into opportunity and uncertainty into clarity. You gain the ability to choose happiness and fulfillment independently. Emotional sovereignty cultivates a strong sense of identity that attracts relationships built on mutual respect. By operating from this place, you are less likely to tolerate mistreatment or settle for less than you deserve. The discipline of detachment is the cornerstone of empowered love. And when you detach, you allow love to find you on your terms, not through desperation or compromise. It teaches patience and discernment, showing you that the right connections emerge naturally. Love is not a commodity to chase, but a resonance that aligns with your energy. Detachment ensures that your heart is not diluted by manipulation or fear. It allows you to participate in relationships as an equal rather than as a subordinate seeking approval. Walking away becomes an act of alignment, protecting both your heart and your integrity. Detachment cultivates clarity, resilience, and confidence, making you magnetic to the right people. The relationships that emerge from this mindset are healthier, deeper, and more sustainable. Love becomes a conscious choice rather than an anxious pursuit. It transforms your emotional landscape, creating space for connection, growth, and mutual respect. Heartbreak is the universe's way of redirecting you to what you truly deserve. Every painful ending, every moment of unreciprocated love, is a signal that you are being guided toward alignment with your highest self. It may feel unbearable in the moment, but this discomfort is a catalyst for growth and clarity. Your emotions are not obstacles. They are teachers showing you where your boundaries, values, and desires have been compromised. Walking away from someone who cannot match your commitment is an act of courage, not weakness. It is a declaration that you will no longer settle for less than you are worth. Pain, when understood and harnessed, becomes power. It fuels self-discovery, teaches resilience, and strengthens your intuition. Every rejection is not a reflection of your inadequacy, but an opportunity to recalibrate. Embrace the lessons hidden in heartbreak and let them guide your path forward. And walking away is a declaration. I refuse to settle for less than real love. It is the ultimate expression of self-respect and self-awareness. Many people confuse clinging with loyalty, believing that enduring mistreatment is proof of devotion. True devotion, however, honors both parties' needs, desires, and boundaries. When you refuse to compromise your dignity for someone else's affection, you affirm the value of your heart. This act of walking away is not cold or detached. It is empowered, intentional, and necessary. It communicates to the world, and more importantly to yourself, that you are worthy of love that uplifts rather than diminishes you. Choosing yourself in the face of rejection is a revolutionary act in a culture that often glorifies sacrifice over self-respect. Every time you walk away from what is not aligned, you pave the way for relationships that are healthy, balanced, and genuinely reciprocal. Walking away is a starting point for the life you were meant to live. And pain becomes power when you use it to fuel self-growth, clarity, and boundaries. Emotional suffering is not wasted when it teaches you about your value and the standards you deserve. Every heartbreak exposes patterns, triggers, and lessons that can guide future choices. Rather than numbing yourself or chasing someone who is not invested, you can redirect energy into personal development and self-discovery. Growth emerges from reflection, from asking difficult questions, and from creating actionable strategies for self-preservation. Boundaries become stronger, discernment sharper, and confidence deeper. Pain no longer feels like a burden, but a teacher equipping you with tools to navigate relationships intelligently. The lessons of heartbreak also create empathy, resilience, and emotional intelligence. By transforming suffering into insight, you reclaim your narrative and step into a more empowered version of yourself. Let your pain be the fuel that ignites transformation and not a chain that holds you back. And every rejection is a lesson in self-worth, not a reflection of your value. When someone cannot meet your level of commitment or respect, it is not a measure of your inadequacy. Human connection requires alignment, and misalignment is an inevitable part of life. Each encounter that ends poorly is a mirror reflecting where your energy and boundaries were compromised. Understanding this distinction allows you to grieve without internalizing shame. Walking away reinforces the message that your love is precious and non-negotiable. It shifts the focus from external validation to internal acknowledgement of your worth. Life has a way of using rejection to clear space for relationships that truly align with your values and intentions. When you honor your self-worth consistently, the right people are drawn into your life naturally. Recognizing rejection as a redirection rather than a failure empowers you to embrace the next chapter with confidence and clarity. And redirect the energy you spent chasing love into building yourself. Time, attention, and emotional labor are finite resources that must be invested wisely. Many people expend enormous energy trying to win someone over who is not reciprocating, leaving little for personal development, career, friendships, or self-care. By redirecting that energy, you create a fertile environment for growth and achievement. The skills, passions, and confidence you cultivate become magnets for relationships that honor and respect you. Instead of seeking validation externally, you generate fulfillment internally. The pursuit of self, mastery, and purpose amplifies your attractiveness without effort or pleading. Energy spent on yourself is never wasted. It compounds into self-respect, independence, and magnetism. Walking away becomes not just an act of release, but an investment in your own life and future happiness. When you build yourself first, the right love finds you naturally and effortlessly. And confidence attracts the right people faster than desperation ever could. Desperation signals lack, fear, and dependence, while confidence radiates strength, stability, and self-respect. When you walk away from those who cannot value you, you automatically recalibrate your energy toward alignment and abundance. Confidence is cultivated through action, establishing boundaries, honoring your worth, and investing in growth. It becomes a signal to the world that you are unavailable for compromise, manipulation, or dishonor. Those who are aligned with your values and intentions will respond positively to this energy. Confidence turns attraction into a natural exchange rather than a negotiation for attention. It allows you to engage in relationships from a place of wholeness rather than need. Every decision to uphold your standards reinforces your internal power. Confidence is the invisible force that transforms rejection into liberation and loss into opportunity. And let your story be one of transformation, not pleading. Too often, people define themselves by who they are willing to tolerate or chase. Transformation means reclaiming your narrative and making choices that reflect your dignity, strength, and vision. It requires courage to acknowledge misalignment, grieve appropriately, and walk away decisively. Each step taken in alignment with your values becomes a testament to your resilience. You no longer beg, rationalize, or compromise to earn love. You operate from clarity and strength. Transformation is a process of consciously designing the life and relationships you deserve. It turns heartbreak into a roadmap, rejection into clarity, and endings into new beginnings. By choosing transformation over desperation, you become the author of your own destiny. Your life becomes a powerful example of self-respect, courage, and intentional love, and healing requires action. Protect your heart, honor your instincts, and walk away decisively. Many people wait passively for time to heal wounds without addressing the root causes of their pain. True healing is active. It involves reflection, boundary setting, and conscious disengagement from toxic dynamics. Listening to your instincts is critical. Your intuition often knows what your mind hesitates to acknowledge. Walking away decisively is a practical demonstration of this awareness. It reinforces your self-respect and protects you from unnecessary suffering. Healing also involves redirecting energy into personal growth, passion, and purpose. Each step you take to safeguard your heart strengthens your resilience and emotional intelligence. By pairing insight with action, you transform vulnerability into strength and loss into liberation. Healing is not passive. It is a bold, empowering choice that restores your power. And life rewards those who refuse to diminish themselves for another's approval. When you uphold your standards, honor your value, and walk away from what does not serve you, you align with abundance and authenticity. People and opportunities that match your energy naturally gravitate toward you. The universe responds to the strength and clarity you cultivate within yourself. Choosing yourself consistently sends a message to the world. You are not available for compromise at the expense of your dignity. The right relationships emerge without struggle, pleading, or manipulation. Walking away becomes an act of faith in your own worth and future. By refusing to diminish yourself, you create a life built on respect, empowerment, and intentional love. Your choices shape a legacy of strength, self-respect, and transformative growth that others will inevitably recognize and admire. And walking away is not the end. It is the opening chapter of your most empowered self. Every decision to disengage from unreciprocated love creates space for alignment, authenticity, and opportunity. The act of walking away transforms vulnerability into courage, heartbreak into clarity, and disappointment into self-mastery. It signals the beginning of a journey where your heart, mind, and soul are honored above all else. The relationships, experiences, and growth that follow are richer, more fulfilling, and genuinely aligned with your values. Walking away teaches resilience, self-love, and discernment in ways that staying never could. Each step is a testament to your courage, strength, and commitment to living intentionally. When you walk away, you reclaim your narrative and redefine your destiny. This is not abandonment. It is the ultimate act of love for yourself and the life you are meant to create.